Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a really common but often, well, undiscussed topic, trichomoniasis.
hmm
We've got some fascinating information from a website that really breaks down what this is, how it impacts vaginal health, and different approaches to support that health,
Yeah.
including a supplement called Balance Complex.
Right.
Our goal for you right now is to provide a clear, sort of easy-to-grasp understanding of trichomoniasis and some practical insights for maintaining a healthy vaginal environment,
Okay.
without getting lost in overly complicated jargon.
Exactly. It's about shedding light on a prevalent issue and giving you the context you need to understand how to support a healthy vaginal balance.
Okay, so trichomoniasis, it's caused by a tiny parasite called Trichomonas vaginalis.
Yep.
And it's actually one of the most common sexually transmitted infections, or STIs.
It really is surprisingly common.
What's particularly interesting, I thought, is that many people who have it don't even experience any noticeable symptoms.
Right. Asymptomatic cases are frequent.
However, even without symptoms, it can still be silently altering the vaginal environment and can definitely cause significant issues if symptoms do arise.
That silent aspect is key. Because people might not know they have it, it can unknowingly spread and also delay necessary attention, which can contribute to the kind of disruptions we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how a silent infection can still be, well, silently altering the vaginal environment,
Right.
potentially leading to long-term shifts we might not even connect back to the initial infection.
Right. So the website goes into detail about how this little parasite can really throw off the natural balance of the vagina. It talks about the vaginal microbiome, and this is like a tiny world of microorganisms, mostly beneficial bacteria called lactobacillus.
The good guys.
Yeah, exactly. The good guys that work to keep the environment at a healthy acidic pH, somewhere between 3.8 and 4.5.
Right.
That acidity is super important for keeping other, less friendly microbes in check.
Precisely. This acidic environment acts as a natural defense. The lactobacillus bacteria produce lactic acid, and that's what maintains that low pH.
Okay.
The parasite, Trichomonas vaginalis, can actually compete for nutrients or even produce byproducts that inhibit the growth and lactic acid production of the lactobacillus.
Ah, okay. So it interferes directly.
Directly interferes, yeah.
And according to our source, this disruption by Trichomonas vaginalis can lead to four main issues. First off, inflammation and irritation.
Yes.
This can cause all those really uncomfortable symptoms like itching, burning, and even pain when you urinate or during intimacy.
Really unpleasant stuff.
Yeah. The site also mentions that if this inflammation becomes chronic, it can actually weaken the vaginal tissues.
That weakening is a really important point to understand because it can make the tissues more susceptible to other infections and potentially have longer-term effects on overall health.
Okay. Then we have the issue of increased vaginal pH.
Right.
Because the parasite affects the lactobacillus, they don't produce as much of that important lactic acid.
Exactly. Less acid.
This makes the vagina less acidic, which, as we just discussed, creates a more favorable environment for those harmful pathogens. It's almost like lowering the natural defenses
Precisely.
and making it easier for unwanted microbes to thrive.
It's a critical domino effect, that shift in pH.
What's fascinating here is how a single organism can disrupt such a finely tuned biochemical process.
Absolutely. And that shift in pH then contributes to the third disruption, an impaired vaginal microbiome.
Okay.
With fewer of those beneficial bacteria around, the vagina becomes more vulnerable to other infections we've probably all heard of, like bacterial vaginosis.
VV, right?
That's often shortened to BV, by the way, yes. And it's another common condition related to an imbalance of bacteria as well as yeast infections and even urinary tract infections or UTIs.
So it's like a cascade.
It's like the good defense team gets weakened and other opportunistic microbes can easily gain a foothold. The interconnectedness of these infections is really important to recognize. A disruption in one area can certainly increase the likelihood of others.
And finally, our source highlights the increased risk of complications if trichomoniasis goes untreated. We're talking about things like pelvic inflammatory disease or PID,
Probably.
potential issues with fertility, and even complications during pregnancy.
Serious stuff.
Plus, and this is a really significant point, it increases the risk of both getting and spreading other STIs, including HIV.
Yeah, that's huge.
That last part really underscores why even those silent, asymptomatic cases are still a major concern from a broader health perspective.
It really emphasizes the broader public health implications that go beyond just, individual discomfort.
Okay, so now we understand what trichomoniasis is and how it can disrupt vaginal health. The website then shifts to what we can do to support vaginal health. They call it a holistic approach,
Right, looking at the bigger picture.
which goes beyond just treating the infection itself. They outline 4 key steps. The first is rebalancing the vaginal microbiome.
Makes sense.
And this is where probiotics come in, specifically mentioning strains like Lactobacillus acidophilus, L. rhamnosus, L. reuteri, L. plantarum, and B. coagulans.
Okay.
These are said to help bring back the beneficial bacteria, maintain that healthy pH, and help keep the less desirable microbes in check.
The selection of those specific lactobacillus strains is really interesting. Each strain has slightly different properties, and can contribute to the overall health of the vaginal microbiome in unique ways.
How so?
Well, Lactobacillus acidophilus, for example, is really known for its role in producing lactic acid.
Okay, the main acid producer.
Right. While Lactobacillus rhamnosus has been studied for its potential to support the gut-vagina axis and immunity. And Bacillus coagulans is also noteworthy because it's a spore-forming probiotic.
Spore?
Yeah, which can make it more resilient in the gut environment and potentially offer more consistent support once it reaches the vaginal area. So it might survive the journey better.
Interesting. Okay, the second step in their holistic approach is reducing inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
Calming things down.
They suggest that ingredients like aloe vera and reishi mushroom can help to soothe irritated tissues and support the healing process.
That makes intuitive sense if the area is inflamed. Calming that down can be a really important step in recovery.
Absolutely. Addressing the inflammatory response can not only provide relief from symptoms, but also support the tissue's ability to repair themselves.
Step 3 is all about boosting immune defenses.
Right.
Your internal security.
Exactly. Here, they mention nutrients like arabinogalactin and, again, reishi mushroom to help the body's natural defense systems fight off infections more effectively.
Strengthening the internal security team, as you said.
A robust immune system plays a crucial role in managing any infection, including trichomoniasis, and also in preventing future recurrences.
And the final step they outline in this holistic approach is targeting the parasites and other pathogens directly.
Okay. Going after the bad guys.
Yeah. They talk about natural antimicrobial agents like oregano leaf extract, caprylic acid, and black walnut hulls, suggesting that these might help to get rid of the harmful microbes without completely wiping out the beneficial bacteria.
That sounds like it could be a more gentle way to restore balance. The concept of selectively targeting pathogens while preserving the beneficial microbiota is a key goal in maintaining a healthy microbiome. It's a delicate balance.
Now, this brings us to Balance Complex, which
Right.
the website we're looking at presents as a comprehensive probiotic and supplement specifically formulated for restoring and maintaining vaginal health.
Okay, the specific product.
They make some pretty noteworthy claims, such as being on the market for over 10 years and having sold more than 15 million capsules.
Wow, that's a lot.
They also state it's the only probiotic for women with 100 CFUG billion probiotics, and that it includes the cranberry and D-mannose for supporting urinary tract health. That's quite a combination.
It is. Though it's important to remember that claims like only probiotic for women with X amount of CFUs should always be viewed with a degree of healthy skepticism.
Good point.
The actual effectiveness of a probiotic really depends on many factors beyond just the sheer number of colony-forming units, or CFUs.
Right. They also highlight over 17,800 five-star reviews on Amazon and describe it as a maximum strength 17-1 strain blend that aims to tackle issues like odor, itching, and discharge.
Lots of positive feedback, apparently.
Plus, they mentioned it's non-GMO, produced in FDA-registered and GMP-certified facilities,
GMP is good manufacturing practices, important for quality.
and backed by a 100% money-back guarantee through Amazon. All those details are clearly intended to build consumer trust.
Yeah, the emphasis on quality control and customer satisfaction is definitely a common marketing approach for supplements. The large number of positive reviews could suggest a degree of effectiveness for some individuals, but it's crucial to remember that individual experiences can vary quite a bit.
Absolutely. So let's take a closer look at some of the key ingredients they list and their purported benefits. First up is their vaginal probiotic blend, which boasts that 100 billion CFU.
That's a high number.
It includes those lactobacillus strains we talked about earlier, Acidophilus, rhamnosus, reuteri, and plantarum, as well as Bacillus coagulans.
The ones we mentioned.
The site reiterates that these contribute to pH balance, inhibiting bad pathogens, supporting the gut-vagina connection, boosting immunity, reducing inflammation, providing antioxidant protection, aiding in tissue healing, and offering long-lasting microbial support, even helping to prevent fungal overgrowth.
So a multi-pronged approach just from the probiotics.
It sounds like a whole team of beneficial bacteria working together.
The inclusion of multiple lactobacillus strains really reflects the diversity we see in a healthy vaginal microbiome. Each strain likely has slightly different mechanisms of action, which could lead to a synergistic or, enhanced overall effect.
Next, they have a cranberry and D-mannose blend.
Ah, for UTIs.
Right. We know that cranberry is often linked to the prevention of urinary tract infections, and they explain that it works by preventing harmful bacteria from adhering to the lining of the urinary tract.
The anti-adhesion effect.
And D-mannose, they say, helps to flush out bacteria and even parasites without disrupting the vaginal microbiome, which sounds like a pretty targeted approach to urinary health.
The combination of cranberry and D-mannose is indeed a well-recognized strategy for supporting urinary tract health. Its inclusion here suggests a broader focus on the health of the entire urogenital system, not just vaginal health.
Then there's oregano leaf extract, which they describe as a natural antimicrobial agent that specifically targets Trichomonas vaginalis, as well as other potentially harmful bacteria and fungi.
Oregano oil is potent stuff.
And caprylic acid is also included, highlighted for its effectiveness against fungal infections, like yeast.
Right, often used for candida.
It seems like they're aiming to address a range of potential microbial imbalances with these ingredients.
The use of natural antimicrobials is an interesting aspect. While they can offer benefits, it's worth noting that their potency and how specifically they target certain microbes can vary. It's not always as precise as, say, an antibiotic.
Good distinction. They also include protease and cellulase, which are enzymes that are said to break down biofilms.
Biofilms. Right.
That's quite interesting. Biofilms are like protective shields that pathogens can create.
Like a slimy armor.
Exactly. Makes it harder for our immune system and even antimicrobial agents to reach them. So breaking those down could potentially enhance the effectiveness of the other ingredients.
That's a clever inclusion. Biofilm disruption can indeed make pathogens more vulnerable. It's a more advanced concept in microbiome management.
We also see aloe vera leaf for its properties in soothing irritated tissues and reducing inflammation.
Calming and healing.
Arabinogalactin for strengthening the immune system, and e-seed for its antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects.
Interesting additions.
Black walnut hulls, which are known for their antifungal and antiparasitic properties. Wormwood, which has been traditionally used for addressing parasites and supporting immune health against Trichomonas vaginalis.
Some traditional herbal remedies there.
And finally, reishi mushroom, which they highlight again for its anti-inflammatory and immune-supporting benefits. It's quite a comprehensive formulation.
It really is. It's a formulation that aims to address multiple facets of vaginal health, from nurturing the microbiome to managing inflammation and bolstering immune support. The inclusion of traditional remedies like wormwood and black walnut hulls alongside probiotics and enzymes is also notable.
Now, looking beyond specific supplements, the website also provides some fundamental tips for preventing and managing trichomoniasis.
The basics, yeah.
Unsurprisingly, practicing safe intimacy by consistently using condoms is right at the top of the list.
Absolutely crucial. Barrier methods are key for STIs.
They also recommend maintaining proper hygiene by using gentle, fragrance-free cleansers and avoiding douching.
Yes, avoid douching.
Which we already know can really disrupt that delicate balance of the vaginal microbiome.
These foundational practices are absolutely crucial for preventing not only trichomoniasis, but also a wide range of other infections and irritations in that area. Can't stress them enough.
Other practical advice includes wearing breathable clothing, like cotton underwear.
Let it breathe.
And avoiding tight garments to help reduce moisture buildup, staying well hydrated.
Simple but effective.
And maintaining a balanced diet. They specifically suggest limiting sugar intake, as sugar can fuel the growth of less desirable pathogens.
Like yeast, for example.
Right, and including foods that are rich in probiotics and antioxidants.
Yeah.
It's all fairly common sense advice, but definitely important reminders for overall vaginal health.
Lifestyle factors truly play a significant role in overall health, and vaginal health is certainly no exception. These kinds of recommendations really support a healthy internal environment.
One more thing that the website mentions is vaginalquiz.com.
Ah, yes, the quiz.
They describe it as a quick, science-backed quiz that can give you a personalized analysis of your vaginal health in under 2 minutes.
Quick turnaround.
They claim it can help you understand any potential imbalances and offer suggestions backed by experts, possibly even recommending specific supplements or lifestyle adjustments. They refer to it as a cheat sheet for understanding vaginal health
A cheat sheet. Interesting phrasing.
and encourage listeners to visit the website to take the free and private quiz. It sounds like it could be a useful starting point for getting some more personalized insights.
Online quizzes can certainly be a helpful initial step for self-assessment, maybe raising awareness. But it's always wise to discuss any findings or concerns with a healthcare professional for a complete understanding of your individual health situation. It's not a diagnostic tool.
Absolutely. And the website does include a really important disclaimer reminding everyone to always consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new supplements, particularly if you have any pre-existing medical conditions or if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. That's critical advice to always keep in mind.
That disclaimer is absolutely vital. Supplements can potentially interact with medications or might not be suitable for everyone. Getting professional medical advice is always the safest and most recommended course of action. No substitute for it.
Okay, so to recap this deep dive, we've explored trichomoniasis, a common STI caused by a parasite that can significantly disrupt the delicate balance of the vaginal microbiome and its naturally acidic pH.
The core issue.
This disruption can lead to inflammation, increase the likelihood of other infections, and potentially cause more serious complications if it's not addressed.
Right, the cascade effect.
The source we examined highlights a holistic approach to supporting vaginal health, which includes rebalancing the microbiome with specific probiotic strains, reducing inflammation, boosting the body's natural defenses, and potentially using targeted natural ingredients.
Looking at the whole system.
They also featured a specific product, Balance Complex, as an example of a comprehensive solution containing a variety of probiotics and other natural ingredients.
One potential tool.
Lastly, they offered practical tips for prevention and management, along with a mention of an online quiz for more personalized insights, while rightly emphasizing the importance of consulting a healthcare professional.
That's a really comprehensive overview. The crucial takeaway here is just how intricate and interconnected the vaginal ecosystem is and the many different factors that can influence its delicate balance. It's not just about one bug.
Definitely. So here's a final thought for you to consider.
Yeah.
Given the incredibly complex balance of the vaginal microbiome and thinking about all the different aspects of our daily lives that could potentially throw it off, things like stress levels, dietary choices, even the personal care products we use.
So many factors.
What other seemingly unrelated aspects of our daily routines might be silently impacting this really crucial part of our health? And what further questions does all of this discussion spark for you about taking a more proactive and personalized approach to your own overall wellness?
Yeah, it really makes you think about hidden connections, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Something fascinating to keep in mind. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.